Wow, it's pitch black out here, Mike. Today's our sixth day of traveling, right? It is.
6 days.
And today we're going to make it over to Destin Harbor. Mike's putting up a new chart right here, getting our day started. We should have daylight here in about another 30 minutes. We should be able to start moving. We got about an 80-mile day today, and we're going to try and make it over to...
Pensacola.
No, we're going to make it over today. We're going to make it to Destin.
Oh, Destin.
Yeah, look for Destin Harbor there. And then we are going to, the next day, we're going to make it over to Lulu's. We got to make it to Lulu's because that's where we're going to get fuel. And we have a big storm coming in, so we're going to have to maybe wait there for a day and not be able to leave till Sunday. So for Saturday, we're going to get held up for weather heading up the Mobile. So we just fired up. We're going to go pick the anchor up. We're starting to see some light here. We'll let that engine run for a minute or two, and then we'll go take that anchor up. You know, sometimes I never forget. I really don't. Praise the Lord that I get to live this life. And then when you see stuff like that, just how beautiful that is, that cloud cover and the sun coming up right there. Absolutely gorgeous. We're getting ready to pick up the anchor on Blue Max here and head out for the day. We've got a big long day ahead of us if we want to make it to Lulu's before that storm. But my God, this is beautiful. Look at that sun over there. You can see the sun.
Just amazing.
Yeah, look at that sun coming down.
The moon.
Yeah, the moon coming down.
Let's go with that being the moon and that being the sun.
And this over here is the sun coming up. It's just same thing last night on the water. It was absolutely gorgeous. So Mike's grabbing the bridle. Dude, I slept like a baby last night. We were both exhausted.
We moved at all.
No, we didn't move. We didn't move 10 feet out of our radius. That anchor you got on here is amazing. All right.
It'll just kind of pull us around to it.
It's time to kick the tires and light the fires and get this baby rolling. We got a big day ahead of us. Got an 80-mile run over to Destin in it's about a 7.5 mile an hour, 8 mile an hour boat. So we'll need to use all of our daylight today. So the moon's setting right there. See it? And I think we got a dolphin up here. Man, that's beautiful. Anyway, pulling into Panama City. Today our goal is to get to Destin, throw the anchor out, and then finish this up and head on over to Lulu's. Over in Gulf Shores. So this is a little trick I learned on Loop Princess, because Loop Princess was actually slower than this boat, believe it or not. I know that's hard to believe, but it really was. So I told Mike a little trick. I says, instead of watching your speed in knots, watch it in miles per hour, and it looks like you're freaking a rocket going to the moon.
I feel like we should have safety harnesses on now.
Because our average cruising speed on this boat's about 7 knots.
6.5,
7 knots, yeah, somewhere right around there, depending if we got current or not. And so now we're at 8.2 miles an hour, which is about 7 knots. And so he's looking at that thinking, put your seatbelt on.
I don't want you up walking around at this kind of speed.
Yeah, right. You could break your neck. That is absolutely gorgeous over there. Just had some dolphins come up to the front of the boat. Mike's trying to get some video of it. You guys hear those jets in the background? It was freaking amazing. Here we are pulling into Panama City. We just stayed right outside of Panama City last night. So we'll come through here, head on over to Destin, Florida. This is downtown, pretty much Panama City right here. That's the city fuel dock over there. On the other side of these cranes is the other side of those cranes right there is another marina that you can go to get fuel. And then this is the main entrance into the channel right over here.
Yeah, I see. It shows it here on the chart too.
And big ships come in here, so there's...
Yeah, I was thinking it had to be because of the depth. I mean, we're 40 foot deep right here.
Correct.
And it's wide.
So if you ever have to get in here in the dark, that it is a good inlet. Yeah, it's a really good inlet. This is probably the best. This one and Mobile are the two best.
Yeah, when you look at the chart, you can see the main ship.
Those are our Raptors, I think. I want to hear the comment. What are these? F-22. Yeah. Mike, while we're out here cruising, we're on the opposite side. We're on the what would you call this? The north. Let's call it the west side.
West side of
Panama City.
Yeah.
And we're on Blue Max here, and you're driving with your
Got the autopilot
pilot going here
Autopilot.
in the intercoastal ICW. But I want to talk about Blue Max here because a lot of people don't understand. They think they just buy this boat and all of a sudden magic, it appears and everything's going to work, and it is what it is. But you put in excess probably right now of over $40,000-$50,000 into this boat cash after you bought the boat. But what I really want to talk about today is the solar system. Tomorrow we'll talk about some of the other systems that you put on here. But the big one is the solar system, because I think that was the most amount of money.
Expensive.
And the reason is because you think, oh, it's just buying panels. Panels are $1 a watt. So if I put 1,200 watts on here, it's $1,200. It doesn't work like that because you bought...
Yeah, you got to buy 4 batteries that are $1,200 a piece too, and then you've got to buy the wiring and the charge controllers and the inverters, and I mean it adds up when you start buying the correct equipment to do what I wanted to do.
Right, which he wanted to make this boat completely self-sufficient, and like right now today we stopped last night. We had probably 90% or 91% power.
We were at 81% power last night.
81% power. And we're running the air conditioners, the heaters, the hot water heater never shuts off, the refrigerator, everything off these batteries, and we never have to worry about power on this boat.
No.
Now, and before that, this boat was always an off-grid inboot key type boat, but they would run the generator a lot.
It required the generator running 12 to 18 hours a day.
And now it requires...
I have a question. When was the last time we ran the generator, Paul?
We have not even started the generator on this particular trip, because we'll talk about that in a second. But there's a reason for that too. And like today, it's a little bit cloudy out here, so we're not going to get full
We're going to get somewhere
solar.
in the neighborhood of 400 to 600 watts of solar. Tops.
That's at one time, so the kilowatt hours of the solar would probably be somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 kilowatt hours
Correct.
of solar on the boat today. And that's because he has 4 massive panels on this boat. That's another thing that people underestimate.
Yeah.
Those, if you want to go flex panels or these bunch of little panels, you can't do it. You got to have these big massive panels. And this roof that you're looking at right here is where he supports those panels. So he had the hard top up there. He had a lot of stuff going for him. But the price that he paid all in for the solar, because you got to remember another thing is, I don't know about you, but when I bought Southern Estate, I had these big old clunky air conditioners, and those clunky air conditioners ate up. I would have to plug into 100 watts of power if I wanted to turn everything on.
I could not run
100 amps, sorry.
An air conditioner on the power system that this boat had. I mean, you just couldn't do it. It wouldn't even start it.
Yeah, correct, because these old air conditioners are clunky and they require a lot of power. So he had to replace both air conditioners right there alone.
3 air conditioners that was on the boat. I went to 2, which was better than the 3 that I had.
And he had to spend $10,000 on that, right?
The $5,000. They're Bel Airs.
Yeah.
They're soft start. They're low wattage pulling air conditioners.
Correct.
And my one in the rear of the boat pulls 400 watts at night to run.
Yeah, and so if you want to do something like that, that is something you have to make that investment to be able to do that. And that investment it's not free. It doesn't come.
It's 30 grand to do what I've done to this boat is $30,000,
and that's
just to be completely off grid, no running of a generator.
Correct, and that's 2,000 amp hours of lithium batteries.
2,000 amp hours of lithium batteries.
And that's a lot.
1,300 watts of solar. It's two 3,000 watt inverters.
Correct.
Because I split the boat in half. I have one inverter running the entire boat. I have the other inverter running the two air conditioners that I put on the boat.
Correct.
So that way I'm not worried about pulling too much wattage. I don't have lights flickering or anything when an air conditioner is running or not running.
And then so now when we pull into like a shore power, all we have to do is really plug the boat into a 30 amp shore power cord and charge the batteries. That's it.
Yeah. And I'm nearly not, and that's only because the boat's not running. If
the
boat's running, I'm putting 230 amps into it constantly.
Now I was going to talk about that here because that's another feature. So now he doesn't just have solar. So when he plugs the boat in, he's charging the batteries, or he starts the generator, he's charging the batteries. But when we're running the main engine, another feature that this particular boat has is it almost has a generator when the main engine's running because it has a separate alternator. And if you remember two boats back ago, we had the same thing charging the Tesla batteries. But this boat it's a big one. And this one puts out 200 amp hours. 240 amp hours, so it's hitting all four of those batteries with 240 amps. And so it charges the batteries up very quickly. So we would never, ever, when this boat is running, so like when he's doing America's Great Loop or something like that, he would never even start the generator. You could almost
I could
really
do the whole loop without running a generator.
Yeah, you could almost throw the generator away. The only reason to keep that generator is because it's running. If anything ever happened to that generator, you would just toss it overboard.
I would gain 5 square feet of engine room space.
Yeah, correct. You'd have more engine room space and just get rid of it because it really doesn't need it. Tomorrow we'll talk about some of the other systems because it's not just the $30,000 that he put upgrading the air conditioners, putting the solar system on. There's many more features and many more where that it's probably more closer to, would you say all in? Probably $70,000 out of his pocket. But tomorrow we'll talk about some of those.
I know somebody's going to say they would never put that much money in an old boat. But you know what? I'm out here doing what I want to do, how I want to do it.
Yeah, if you want to have air conditioning and you want to be off grid, you're going to spend that money.
You're going to do it. If you don't want air conditioner, you don't want hot water all day long, then you don't have to do it.
Correct. But if you want those features and you want to be able to do that, you will spend the money, or don't buy the boat. You'll just live in your house and
watch the boats out here doing it.
Yeah, you'll watch people on the boats doing it. So just wanted to share that.
I was a watcher at one time.
Yeah, I know. You watched for several years.
Watched for several years. Looked for several years.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, it's been a blessing to be able to come out here and do it.
Anyway,
this morning was beautiful.
Oh my God! These last couple, these sunrises and sunsets are just, you're in awe every single time you see them.
That's another feature of not having to hear a generator.
Oh, dude! Like it's especially on a 40, 50 foot boat. It's when you're on when I get on these 70-foot boats like Snapdragon, you really don't hear the generator, but you got that full big walk-in insulated engine room. And you're a long ways away from the generator, but on a 45-foot boat like this one, the generator.
You're going to hear it.
You're going to hear it,
and it's not noisy in this one, but you're going to know it's running.
Yeah, and you just hear that.
We woke up this morning and you heard nothing but the water slapping the side of the boat. That's the way.
Incredible. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you today as we're cruising along here in the ICW, heading over to Destin, Florida. Let's hear your comments down below. What do you guys think? And do you think? I mean, there's people. Now you paid people too with that 30 grand. There's labor involved.
I had to pay some people to get some. Yeah, I wasn't knowledgeable enough to do all of it.
Correct.
But I learned it as I was doing it, and I didn't do it all at once.
Right.
I did little bites of it. My first purchase was just the 2 batteries and 1 charger.
Right.
And no solar panels. I had what was on the boat.
Right. Because the boat was solared, and it had a different battery system. Had an inefficient solar panels and inefficient batteries.
And very inefficient ACs.
C's, yes, correct. So,
and I just updated it all.
Right.
Now, we don't do anything. We just enjoy it.
I would call this boat as close as you can get to a a small Nordhaven type style boat, because you know when we had those birds out yesterday or the day before, or when we were in the Gulf there, I mean, I feel there's nothing this boat couldn't do. You know what I'm saying?
We were never to the point that we was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing out here in this boat?
Yeah, there was never any of that, and I could just imagine just cruising the entire Caribbean chain in this thing, which this boat has done several. This boat's been through the Panama Canal under its own keel. It's been through the guy that built the boat. This boat's been in several magazines actually, and there's actually magazine articles on it. And the guy that actually built the boat put the bulbous front end on it. And we're going to talk about some of these other features in later videos. Like tomorrow, I want to talk about another subject on it, and we'll talk about the stabilization of the boat.
Correct.
Which you didn't have to put any money in that,
I didn't do anything. Well,
did you put new lines and stuff?
I put new lines.
Let's talk about it tomorrow, brother.
Okay.
So our subject for tomorrow will be how this boat is stabilized and what makes it such an incredible ride, especially for out there in the ocean, how the guy built it.
Well, the river system here, I mean, when we're out back here, this is nothing.
No.
I mean,
you don't need it.
To do this all day long, it's nothing. Just set the autopilot and sit back and enjoy it.
Correct.
With your heat or air conditioner going.
Correct. Ranger blows by us at about
40 knots.
Yeah, it looks like 40 knots, but it's actually doing about 16 knots. And they are cool, Mike, but I mean, I've been aboard them and I've delivered them, and they're small, dude. They are so freaking small, but they do move along, and there is quite a few of these things on the loop. Dude, why do I want to go for a ride on that airboat?
I want to go for a ride on one too. I've never even been on one.
I've been on one time.
I probably shouldn't get on one because I don't think I want to fit on the back of Blue Man.
You just end up buying one if you. What bridge? I guess we're leaving Panama City.
We're out of Panama City now. We crossed over the bay. So should be small. I guess ICW from all the way over to what's our next little
Destin.
Port? Destin.
Then we're in the Emerald Coast. That's one of my favorite. I love it over there.
We're making great time. Looks like we're going to be over there about 4 o'clock, 3:30.
What is that thing?
Meridian? Is that
No, an Absolute 47 or something. Never seen one before. It doesn't even look like 47 feet though, does it?
No. What the problem when we get any boat next to this one, they just don't look as big.
Well, that does not look like 47 feet to me. Maybe it is. It's pretty. We go past these and up there on the river system too.
It's beautiful.
What do you got coming up here?
That looks like a little fishing boat.
How much longer we got of this canal?
A while. It's beautiful. Quit trying to rush it and get it over with. You're gonna make me slow down. We're doing 8 knots.
8 knots or 8 miles an hour?
Call it knots.
We're just outside of Destin right now. Wind's howling pretty good. But in the intercoastal here, not that big of a deal. And we're gonna go past Destin. Now, how far past Destin we make it today, I don't know. There they are.
They're here. They're loving it.
There's one just jumped.
There's another one over here just jumped. Just go down front. They'll be there for 10 minutes. There's another one. Yeah, look at that.
I could if it wasn't so rough out here.
Well,
You didn't have me at 80 mile an hour winds.
We're in the Andrea Gale. We're good.
I can't believe they got these parasailers up here. We're just outside of Destin Harbor right now.
Like a gale force wind you got me out in with no birds in.
Oh yeah, listen to him. We're in 12 knots of wind, but these are gale force. It was just like our seas out there over the last 2 days were 13, 14 footers. They were 2 to 3 footers. No, it is pretty windy today. I couldn't go up in one of those. I wouldn't want to be.
About in one of them now.
I know. I wouldn't go up today in one of those parasols, not in this wind. No. It seems a bit sporty out here. We're gonna pass my favorite marine harbor, let's say Destin Harbor right here. That's it over here. And the reason we can't stop on this trip is because we have a storm coming in, a pretty bad storm coming in, and we want to be tied off tomorrow at Lulu's. We want to try and get fuel and be tied off for the storm that's coming through on Saturday. And it's a pretty big one. Predicting Category 1 hurricane winds and storms and stuff like that. So we just really, really want to be tied off. So that's why we kind of pushed it these last 2 days to get as far as we can. Where we at? This is Emerald Coast. Gulf breeze.
This here is Santa Rosa Island right here to our
Left.
port.
Emerald Coast. This is beautiful too when you catch it in the right light. It's all green. It is beautiful through here. I want to hear in the comments how many gallons of fuel you think this barge is pushing here with two of those tanks. Yeah, you're still at 14 feet of water.
Hold up. Neutral.
I'm in neutral.
Okay. Reverse.
Let me give it a little gas.
Give it a little gas. Ain't set.
It felt like it just stopped.
Got it reverse still?
Hold on. Yeah, it's in reverse.
Give it a little gas.
Feels like we're stopped.
Give it a little gas. We'll know. Alright.
You all right?
I'll hook up the throttle.
We look good?
Look good.
All right. All right, guys, end of day 6 here. We're setting the bridle, setting the anchor. Look at this beautiful, the sun's getting ready to set. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. Just outside of Fort Walton, just before, just after Fort Walton. And we decided to come here because you can see right here, this channel is narrow here, and we get into a much bigger body of water, so that's why we stopped right here. And then tomorrow we should be over to Gulf Shores, and then we're gonna ride out the storm. Anyway, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. We do appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching. Peace out, and remember, live life with no regrets. I do, and I believe Mike and Christy do as well. Thank you, guys. Bye.